jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If he's not jabbing, he has no defense.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. You don't know how your body's going to react.
He's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's going to go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I'm picking Crawford too.
Mike Tyson has voiced serious concern regarding Canelo Alvarez's upcoming challenge, warning that a potential loss to Terence Crawford could have lasting consequences on Canelo's future legacy. Tyson points out that in several of Canelo's past fights, he has failed to properly utilize his jab, a fundamental tool that can set the tone of a match. This lack of consistent jab usage, Tyson argues, has often given opponents the confidence to walk forward, close distance, and impose their game plan. He stresses that this flaw cannot be repeated against a tactician like Crawford. Tyson
for the jab, the guy's gonna walk right in on him, like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. Well, it's really basic,
Respected boxing analyst Teddy Atlas provides a broader perspective by acknowledging Canelo Alvarez's impressive resume, which includes years of fighting elite opponents across multiple weight classes. Canelo's track record reflects experience against some of the most dangerous names in the sport. In comparison, Terence Crawford's resume may appear less decorated in terms of star opponents, with some critics suggesting he has not yet faced enough marquee fighters for his level of talent. But Atlas pushes back against this view, arguing that greatness is not defined by a list of names on paper, but by the quality of skill, adaptability, and mastery displayed in the ring. Atlas highlights Crawford's brilliant timing, ability to control angles, and command of ring space as traits that could prove decisive.
He's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good, really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it, but those intangibles. I believe that he has.
For Canelo Alvarez, the stakes extend beyond just adding another win to his career. Because Terence Crawford is stepping up 2 full weight classes, the risk-reward balance is skewed heavily against Canelo. Should Alvarez lose, the criticism will not be gentle. It would suggest that despite his natural size, strength, and championship experience, he was unable to handle a naturally smaller fighter. That type of loss, critics argue, could damage his reputation as one of boxing's premier pound-for-pound fighters and cast doubt on his standing in the sport. In this sense, the fight represents enormous pressure for Canelo, as the downside of losing outweighs the upside of simply beating a smaller opponent. Even before the opening bell, this weight of expectation looms large over him.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. You don't know how your body's going to react, and you just think, you're just going to come up and beat me. We seen it with Charlo, his videos, how he was looking, moving around the ring, and everybody thought, that might work, and we saw what happened come fight night. Crawford is a skillful guy, but who has he really beaten? Spence. After Spence, now all of a sudden he can jump up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't see it. If I'm Canelo, I will have to make a statement with Crawford. Canelo cannot lose this fight. He shouldn't lose this.
David Benavidez offers high praise for Terence Crawford, suggesting that his technical skill places him on an entirely different level than most fighters operating today. He describes Crawford as a master of adaptability, able to effortlessly switch stances mid-fight, maintain composure even in the most hostile situations, and dictate pace regardless of the opponent's strategy. According to Benavidez, this blend of technical precision, mental sharpness, and ring IQ makes Crawford one of the toughest puzzles to solve in boxing. More than just his physical tools, it is Crawford's intelligence and patience in breaking down opponents round after round that truly separates him. For Benavidez, this is the essence of why Crawford remains so dangerous in any matchup.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make one.
Jeff Mayweather emphasizes the incredible technical foundation that has defined Terence Crawford's rise, particularly his ability to read opponents and adjust strategies with surgical accuracy. Crawford, in Jeff's view, represents pure boxing craft at its highest level. However, Mayweather quickly balances this by warning that Canelo Alvarez's power, experience, and ability to deliver fight-changing punches cannot be dismissed. Over the years, Canelo has proven himself capable of turning the tide of battle with one perfectly timed shot, and he has done so against some of the best fighters in the sport. Jeff cautions that anyone, including Crawford, who underestimates Canelo's ability to adapt and find openings inside a fight is making a dangerous mistake.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win.
Max Kellerman approaches the matchup with a technical lens, placing the spotlight on the jab as the most important weapon. He explains that Crawford's jab is not only accurate but also disruptive, allowing him to dictate tempo, control distance, and build combinations while simultaneously breaking his opponent's rhythm. This tool has been central to Crawford's success throughout his career. By contrast, Kellerman observes that Canelo's jab, once a strong weapon in his early years, has become inconsistent in recent times. Where it used to neutralize aggressive fighters and set traps, it now appears less frequent and less sharp. If that trend continues, Kellerman warns, Canelo may find himself vulnerable to Crawford's disciplined and efficient use of the lead hand.
I'll give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring.
Gary Antoine Russell examines the fight from a cultural and stylistic perspective. He notes that Canelo Alvarez represents the essence of traditional Mexican boxing, a style built on intelligent pressure, devastating body shots, and sharp counterpunching. On the other side, Terence Crawford embodies the rhythm, defensive reflexes, and fluidity often associated with African-American boxing traditions. Russell believes this clash of cultures and styles is what makes the fight so intriguing. Each fighter will be working to impose his own rhythm while dismantling the rhythm of the other, creating a battle not only of fists but of identities and philosophies within the sport.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. he's like freakishly good. You know, he go both sides, southpaw, orthodox. You know, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from beam to beam from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. I'm talking about like not 12-round shape. I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Trainer Robert Garcia has openly declared his support for Terence Crawford. Garcia admires Crawford's relentless discipline, work ethic, and technical mastery, qualities he believes have made Crawford one of the finest practitioners of the sport today. Garcia adds that Crawford's rise and success showcase the importance of fundamentals, strategy, and mental toughness, qualities he says should be celebrated at the highest level of boxing. While Garcia maintains respect for Canelo Alvarez and all that he has accomplished, his personal allegiance lies with Crawford in this high-profile matchup.
You know, I love Crawford. He knows that. I've seen him. I've talked to him many times, and I wish him the best. I'm actually very happy for him and Bomac for everything they've done and the big fight that they're getting. You know, in this sport, making it to those fights and making it to those paydays, you got to be happy for anybody that makes it there. So Bomac knows, Crawford knows. Now I'm actually, after Canelo's performance, I'm actually leaning towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford's, he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win.
Young prospect Omari Jones sheds light on Crawford's preparation process, commending him for avoiding the mistake of bulking up recklessly just to meet a higher weight class. Instead, Crawford has taken a calculated and scientific approach, adding lean mass through tailored nutrition and conditioning while maintaining the agility and speed that define his style. This allows him to preserve the quickness and sharpness that are his trademarks, while also strengthening his frame for durability against a larger man like Canelo. Jones believes this smart preparation gives Crawford the best chance to bridge the natural size gap and maximize his effectiveness in the ring.
Me personally, meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skill set. And it, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, it's a win-win.
So you don't think Crawford, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. The nutrition, the like I said, the training. Crawford, he trains hard, so I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your 3rd win by knockout.
Yes.
I'm super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off.
Paulie Nalignaggi echoes this sentiment, noting that Crawford has struck an ideal balance in his physical transformation. Crawford has gained enough muscle to withstand Canelo's renowned punching power, yet he has not sacrificed the explosive speed and reflexes that make his counters so deadly. Nalignaggi credits Crawford's disciplined camp, pointing out that his attention to every detail, from nutrition to sparring sessions, shows a fighter leaving nothing to chance. According to Paulie, this preparation could prove decisive in determining whether Crawford is able to impose his style on Canelo.
Wait, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Alvarez, so that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said. You're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I could say this even as a fighter as myself. As I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym. It just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, you know, all types of crazy numbers just to get people to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight. We see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight. It's
Trainer Stephen Breadman Edwards highlights what he sees as Crawford's greatest weapon, movement. Edwards explains that Crawford's ability to control space, pivot, and manage distance forces opponents into mistakes, often leaving them swinging at air or walking into counters. Combined with elite stamina, Crawford can sustain this high-energy style across 12 full rounds. Edwards also emphasizes that Crawford's mental toughness ensures he never panics, even when pressured. This combination of physical and psychological resilience could prove key in neutralizing Canelo's forward pressure and preventing him from cutting off the ring.
Really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're going to be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller. He's longer. And I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight. Canelo, for as good as he is, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. That's 4 years. You know why? Because he gets a little tired and gets like a little bit complacent. He's a power puncher. Anybody that punched that hard don't want to go 4 years without a stoppage. He haven't got a stoppage because he don't have the conditioning and the stamina to push a guy over the edge after he hurt him or after, you know, when the guy is running away from him to still be able to go get him. He don't want to go the distance in all these fights. You think he wants to go the distance with Jamel Charlo and John Ryder and Edgar Berlanga and Triple G at 68? He don't want to, but he don't have that extra gear anymore, in my opinion, to get guys.
Canelo Alvarez's recent performance against William Skull has raised eyebrows and added fuel to the debate. Analysts noted that his output was unusually low, and his movements lacked the urgency that once defined his prime. Instead of dictating the pace, Canelo appeared reactive, allowing Skull to operate more comfortably than expected. These signs of hesitation and reduced stamina have prompted questions about whether Alvarez can still sustain the sharpness and intensity required at the elite level. Critics warned that if such tendencies resurface against a versatile and dynamic opponent like Crawford, it could be exploited to devastating effect.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, look, his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but you know, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean, he probably would have put some damage on Williams' skull.
Former champion Shawn Porter shares his blueprint for how Crawford can succeed. He insists that distance control and smart use of angles are Crawford's most important tools. By forcing Canelo to constantly reset and disrupting his forward momentum, Crawford can gradually chip away at him both physically and mentally. Porter emphasizes that this fight will test not only the physical but also the psychological discipline of both men. The fighter who stays focused, executes consistently, and maintains composure from the opening round to the final bell is the one most likely to have his hand raised.
Yes. So, I haven't seen that Terence Crawford against Canelo in these two press conferences. They're having dinner, they have the presser in Riyadh, they have the presser in New York. That's a weak-ass push by Canelo. And, you know, that is not Canelo, what he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. You know, he slipped him and then slapped him, and that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting the knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win, and you know, but you know, I don't want to get too deep into it today, but you know my thoughts on this, the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right, is an afterthought.
That concludes today's breakdown and discussion. Stay tuned for more updates, insights, and analysis as this monumental fight draws closer.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.